Welcome ladies and gentlemen, I want to quickly talk about stamina setups in raids because a lot of people have been asking me. I use two-fanged snake on my build, but I actually don't wear it in the videos, like when I upload trial runs and all that kind of stuff. Why is that so? So basically I put two-fanged snake there because it's the best option to run if you're alone, but there is other options available. For example, we have like 3 to 4 stem dudes in our group. So the first stem dude runs like Night Mother's Gaze combined with Vicious Ophidian. Then the second stem dude runs Thunderflame combined with Hunting's Rage. Those two sets both give penetration and they give you 6k penetration, Night Mother's and Thunderflame. Just keep in mind Thunderflame is single target, Night Mother's Gaze is AoE. Then another set, the third dude, because we have 3 or 4 stem DKs, is running Morak Tong. So he combines Morak Tong with Hunting's Rage, and he actually, I think if he's fully buffed, he hits like 6k weapon damage. It's completely, like, it's insane. Because Morak Tong actually has really nice bonus, but it's pretty hard to get because you kind of need weapons, so you can keep Hunting's Rage on your body all the time. Like when you weapon swap, it doesn't go off. Morak Tong, the buff lasts like 5-6 seconds, so you can weapon swap and the buff will not disappear. And the thing is, on each stem DK, Morak Tong adds like 2.5k DPS, so if you have 3 or 4 stem DKs, that's 8k overall more DPS, more or less. So it's a really good option. So that's why we have things really thought through. And then we also have a stamina templar sometimes, which is either running Power of the Light to give us even more penetration, or he's running War Machine just to give us the major Slayer buff and all that kind of stuff. Obviously you need to keep in mind, you always need to check how high of a buff up time you get with those sets. Night Mother's Gaze, Thunderflame, Morak Tong, they're really easy to keep up, almost 100%, if not 100%. Power of the Light, kinda hard on a like stamina template. There is a rotation that, but I think like tops I've seen like 80-90%, but usually it's around 50%, so you need to calculate that in. And in the end, if you have like, we run a lot of Stamina Dragon Knights because they have the highest single target DPS and they also have nice AoE DPS. So it's just Stamina Dragon Knight is probably at the moment one of the strongest setups. And people keep saying, yeah, stamina setups are kind of squishy because they don't have shields. So not true. Deadly Cloak gives you like, they say it's 25% damage mitigation, but it feels like 50, I swear to God. You really, like, it's really hard to die on stamina, unless you do something really wrong. Like if you get killed by one-shots or stuff like that. Then obviously, like, that's the one thing, but our tanks also run like Infused Crusher and Chance. One of the tanks has Alcast, so that's all the penetration. Like we have a lot of penetration debuffs on the bosses, so we don't need to invest that many champion points into like the penetration piercing perk. So we can split them up somewhere else and gain overall more DPS. That's why we always have so like high DPS on the stamina setups. If all those sets weren't there, then the DPS wouldn't really be a lot higher than Magicka setups, but still, like dual wield just has the fastest heavy attacks. That's more or less actually the only reason why Magicka is behind, because like two-handed weapons, well, I don't know. I mean, the explanation I got was, I was asking Souls why were dual wield heavy attacks faster than other heavy like weapons heavy attacks, and the reason they gave me was like, well, when they were doing the animations they were just faster, so that's it. So I'm like, well, okay, sure. It just creates a shit ton of imbalance and people QQ about nerfs, even though it's not a setup or a class problem. It's just simply because those dual wield heavy attacks dish out so much more damage and it's just easy to sustain. Sure, you need to do heavy attack rotation on the front bar, but on Magicka it's kinda tricky to sustain. That's one of the bigger issues. So you have that, the heavy attack thingy, and then also there's just more support sets for stamina. Like I said, Night Mother, Thunderflame, Morak Tong and all that kind of stuff. War Machine, well, you also have that for Magicka, the Master Architect. But other than that, I mean, Magicka setups have a light armor passive where they already get penetration. Stamina doesn't have that. That's why we need to kind of set it up with those sets, which is a good thing because you don't really lose DPS. Either you're wearing two-fanged snake, which gives you like, now after they nerfed it a little bit, it's like 4.2k, something like that, 4.5k. So either you wear that or you wear those sets combined with other stem setups in your group. But then obviously it kind of takes time to set that up. Morag tongue weapons are really difficult to get, and you always need to be aware, like, oh okay, we have the same people in our group always, so we can run this setup, otherwise it won't happen. So that's just kind of the setup we are running, and I hope it gave kind of an insight into it, why I'm not running two-fanged snake, why we are running other stuff. If you have any questions about this kind of thing, please ask me in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.